Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 3 Episode 5. Yes, last time it was my favorite episode of the entire season. Perhaps even my favorite episode of the entire series. I am still not sure. Perhaps I'm speaking way out of order. But yes, last week's episode was just wonderful. As you might already know, Sokka is my favorite character of the series. I don't know why. I think he's fantastic. I think his humor is great. But it's not just the humor. He's not just the comic relief character. He has more depth than we can see in the majority of the episodes. So yes, I love that last episode. I love how they treat him in that episode, how the rest of them miss him. Yes, we never thought that they think less of him. That never crossed my mind, don't get me wrong. But it's still wonderful to see just how your friends really depends on you once you are gone. And yes, it was just for a few days because he needed to do something else. And I love it. I love the treatment that my boy Zuko received last week. It was honestly a wonderful experience to witness. And I love how, even though he is not a vendor, a very powerful vendor, and as I said in my previous reaction, my previous video, he is mostly just concentrating on kind of the strategy. And yes, you have a lot of powerful vendors around you, so yeah, it makes sense for you to feel bad. But I love how they changed that and they make it to seem like it doesn't matter if you cannot bend it. You can still be an amazing asset to this team just by the abilities you have, by the brain you have. And my god, I love how even the teacher said, yes, your abilities are nothing to write at home. But your brain, the way it works, is what really makes you wonderful. I love that. I genuinely, I'm so happy for that fact. I am so happy for that. Oh my god. But anyway, yes. I am eager to see what this next episode brings to the table because so far the season 3 has been very interesting. It gave you a different perspective of a lot of stuff that you don't previously thought about. Again, it's a great thing that we are inside of the Fire Nation, that we're inside of this place so we can start to see the war from a different perspective. That is not just affecting the outside world, but it's affecting the inside of this nation, the nation that is winning actually, and it's not being affected by the external attackers, but from the same government that wants to conquer the world. So yes, I love this different perspective that all these episodes are giving us. But anyway, yes, I'm starting to ramble way too much. Let me just remind you that yes, you can subscribe to my channel, so please consider a subscription so you can get up to date. Turn on notifications. Leave a comment. I'm trying to answer them more often now because yeah, I kind of feel bad, but again, it's kind of hard when you don't know exactly how many comments you receive in a video because YouTube is being just pathetic at that. And yes, this is kind of annoying. The app doesn't give me the information that I need to know about my own channel. So yes, what else? Oh yes, please, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. And remember, I now have a Patreon, so the link is in the description below. Please check it out. And if you're interested, join that community so you can see a week before my reactions and even my full uncut reactions to the videos. If you're interested, of course, there is no obligation whatsoever for you. Anyway, yes, enough about all of this. Let's just cut the presentation and watch the video, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the fifth episode of the third season. And it's fascinating to see this one, honestly. It's a different perspective for the main villains of the series. Well, outside of the Fire Lord, obviously. But this one, Ty Lee, May, Zuko and obviously Azula are kind of our villains that actually get into action, that actually confront the heroes and actually fought against them. So, yes, they are still kind of the main villains of the story. Obviously, the most intimidating one is the Fire Lord Ozai, but he doesn't take direct action. It's obviously something else with him. But it's a different perspective because, again, what I like about the series is that it's not one-dimensional. That is just the same dudes, it's just the dude that wants to conquer the world or just to do something in particular and nothing else. They don't deviate from these one-dimensional villains, especially in the Western cartoons. This is something that has been prevalent in the Western cartoons. But this series doesn't go into that place. This series actually tries to build character from all sides of the story. The hero side and the villain side. Even minor characters get some character build-up, character building. So it's fascinating to see. But before going to that, obviously, let's first speak about the hero side. The hero side is very simple. They are kind of enjoying their beach day, yeah, in a crater with a lake, and they are having fun until obviously the assassin that was hired before, at most at the beginning of the season, start to attack them. And I love how somehow this guy prevent the Fire Lord to find out about the failure of Zuko. He did something good for Zuko and for the Avatar, because he doesn't, the Avatar I mean, doesn't have an army behind him trying to catch him or trying to kill him, but it's just one dude. But obviously this dude is a very, very, very extremely dangerous man. And I'm fascinated by the way he looks and by the power that he has. Just as Sokka said, this dude can ignite things with his mind. Yes, obviously, we have seen fire bending before. But this is very different. He doesn't need to do the movements. He just kind of look at something and that thing is kind of a cannon of fire. I don't know what the hell to think about all of this, but it's a fascinating power. I want to know more about this dude, about that particular tattoo that I think is important. But honestly, the hero side doesn't really need much analysis. It's just flashy fights. And don't get me wrong, those are amazing fight scenes. Those are great choreographic fight scenes. But it's not much for me to analyze on the hero side. On the villain side, there is a shit ton of things that I could be fascinated by. First of all, obviously this forced vacation, our beach episode, is very common for the animes when it's kind of a slice of life. We have our beach episode. Now this non-anime, this animation has their own beach episode. And it's a fascinating one because we saw the different perspectives of the characters, of the villain characters. Not only in the side of the ability to fight, which actually we saw that in the volleyball match, we saw the difference between trained warriors and kind of trained civilians, but obviously not that strict regime. But actually we saw how they behave when they are presented in circumstances that a normal teenager could be involved into. I love how this is just weird to see. Because again, we are so used to seeing these people only at war, only how they behave when they are at war, when they are fighting, when they are trying to capture or kill the Avatar. In this circumstance, we saw just how messed up, because all of them are messed up in one way or another. Not just Zuko, not just Azula, which obviously are our main candidates of being messed up. But we actually saw Mei, we actually saw Ty Lee, why they behave the way they behave. And I love this fascinating psychological analysis and how everything exploded. Everything exploded because everything was kind of building up towards that. We saw the anger issues that Zuko has. We saw the kind of crazy side that Azula has. We saw how Ty Lee is kind of craving attention. And even when she receives it, say, okay, this is too much, I need to get out of there, understandably, honestly. How May is always kind of receiving all these messed up attacks, psychological attacks, I mean. And how she in the end explode, even her explode, even with her calm demeanor, or where indifferent demeanor, I think is more accurate in this case. And it feels natural. Once again, this in the last scene in which we saw these campsite scene in which obviously the fire and everything is kind of normal teenager stuff. We saw obviously something else. We saw how everybody's kind of expressing their feelings. But it feels natural because it's in the point in which everything breaks, in which everything is not functioning the way it should be functioning. I find this fascinating because it's kind of a normal thing to do, but not normal thing to do. It's still kind of the plot device moving the story forwards or moving our protagonist, but it doesn't feel that different. Obviously, when you're a teenager, you don't cry like that, or you don't express yourself like that. There is obviously something, the spark there. But it feels natural enough for me to not feel forced to listen to this. Oh, this is just exposition. No, it doesn't feel like just exposition. It feels like in the point in which they just break and they need to express what they are feeling, why they are the way they are. We have obviously Ty Lee, she believed that she was just a part of a set because she has 6 sisters and everybody's equal, and yeah, she lack of individuality, and that's why she ran away. And we have the other case in which May received all the attention of their parents because she was an only child, until later on, I guess, because yeah, the little brother or little sister came very, very into the future for this girl. And still, the way they created this kind of attitude, because yeah, the most, oh, don't go out of line, don't scream, speak only when you're spoke to. So yeah, this creates a mess of childhood. And obviously we saw probably the most messed up, because yeah, your own father attacked you and teach you a lesson in your fucking eyes by burning one of them, or at least the skin around the fucking eyes, and the other one in which the mother did not pay any attention and considered you a monster. Yeah, she said she doesn't care, but I don't believe that for a second. I think she cares. She's just too stubborn and prideful to say, oh yes, I care that my mother believed that I was a monster. My own mother, man. It's messed up. It's really messed up when you think about it. It is fascinating to see, because this episode gave us the opportunity to understand our villains a lot better. We get to see their human side, which is something I'm grateful, because I wanted to see this. It's a great thing when you start to analyze, and this is not coming from the last episode that everything just builds up, but it's coming from kind of, not even in the middle of the season, kind of at the beginning of the season. So yes, it is a fascinating one. It is genuinely entertaining, and I am lost of words because there is not much for me to analyze, because everything was portrayed in the front lines. I can speak about the psychological repercussions about that, this and that and that and that. But that won't make any sense because you already know these. I love this episode for the information that it gave us, for the different perspective that it gave us about our villains, and because they are not afraid to separate and give the spotlight to the villains. Because yes, the heroes didn't really much do anything other than run away. They didn't create another plot for them, or at least not for them to be just the center of attention. No, they focus the attention on the villains. And again, I love that aspect because they are building every single main character of the series. Not just the heroes, but the villains too. I love that aspect of the show, that you can take any character in this in this series, hell, even some minor characters, and give accurate descriptions without telling their names. I know that perhaps what I'm saying doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does. It's kind of a test to tell you that your characters are good written or not. Check that test. I'm gonna try to find out the name of the test and put it in the annotation here. There is something else I want to speak about and I almost forgot. Good thing I read my notes. I love how the anger of Zuko is directed towards himself. He's angry at himself and he finally accepted that. And I kind of know why he's angry at himself. I think he's angry at himself because he betrayed the only person that really took care of him, that really appreciated him even in his lowest point. I think that is why he is angry at himself. He doesn't know that. Perhaps it's just, again, it's just kind of in his subconsciousness. He doesn't know that, at least not now. Hopefully he's going to realize that and just change his ways. But I love the fact that he finally accepts that. Oh my god, this is a fascinating series and I cannot wait for the next episode. But as always, let me just remind you that please consider a subscription because yay! Consider a subscription because I just check and it's kind of the 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so please consider a subscription. Again, there is no obligation to nobody, just consider a subscription and turn on notification, obviously. Please, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment so I know what you like about the episode or what you think about my reaction to the episode or my commentary in general. And yes, if you want to follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description below, alongside with the link to my Patreon if you want to see the episode a week before, and even my full uncut reaction, the link is there. So yes, I have nothing else to say, but thank you for your attention, and well, see you on the next one. Bye!
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like, so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks and see you on the next one.